Imagine getting paid thousands just to move across a state line. But the real story is not the offer. It is why 7 states are competing for your arrival in 2026. Behind every cash payout lies a silent scramble to reverse decades of population decline and growing economic anxiety. But what are the true costs? And who is really winning in this race to lure remote workers? In the mid-1800s, the United States turned to incentives to shape where people lived and worked. The Homestead Act of 1862 promised 160 acres of public land to anyone willing to settle, farm, and improve it for 5 years. Settlers rushed west, drawn by the hope of land ownership and a new start. But the promise often outpaced reality. In places like Kansas, promoters claimed that simply plowing the land would bring rain and prosperity. Many families arrived to find harsh conditions, unreliable rainfall, and isolation. Towns boomed, then emptied as drought and crop failures forced people to abandon their claims. These cycles of hope, migration, and disappointment left behind ghost towns and a cautionary record of what happens when incentives meet hard limits. A century and a half later, a new wave of incentives appeared, shaped by different pressures. After the 2008 recession, small towns and rural counties across the Midwest and Great Plains faced shrinking populations and economic decline. Some began offering free lots to home builders or cash bonuses for in-demand workers. These efforts were local and experimental until Vermont launched a bold statewide program in 2018. The Vermont Remote Worker Grant offered up to $10,000 to remote employees willing to relocate, covering moving and work expenses. The idea caught national attention, sparking dozens of similar programs across the country. By 2020, more than 50 communities and states had some form of relocation incentive, each hoping to reverse decline and attract new residents. The echoes of the past, grand offers, high hopes, and the risks of overpromising still shape these modern campaigns. West Virginia has staked its future on a bold promise, up to $12,000 in cash for remote workers who relocate through the Ascend West Virginia program. Participants also receive free co-working space and access to outdoor recreation, all designed to make the move stick. In Oklahoma, Tulsa Remote offers $10,000 to remote professionals who settle in the city for at least a year, along with networking events and workspace perks. Kansas takes a different approach, combining state income tax waivers and up to $15,000 in student loan repayment for newcomers to designated rural counties. While there is no flat cash bonus, the total financial package aims to tip the scales for those on the fence. Alabama's Shoals region, famous for its music legacy, has offered $10,000 in installments to remote workers who move in and stay for a year. In Arkansas, the most publicized incentives cluster in the Northwest, where remote workers can receive up to $10,000 along with local cultural perks, though specific offers vary by city and year. Indiana's strategy is fragmented but aggressive. Programs like Choose Southern Indiana pay $5,000 to new residents, while other communities offer up to $7,500, often bundled with co-working memberships and wellness stipends. Kentucky's rural programs, including those in Paducah, advertise up to $8,800 in relocation support, mixing cash with housing and childcare discounts to lure remote talent into the heart of Appalachia. Each of these offers comes with its own rules, but the headline numbers tell a clear story. States are putting real money on the table, hoping to reverse years of decline by targeting the mobile, high-earning workforce. The fine print, though, is never far behind. Fine print shapes who actually gets the keys to these incentive programs. Nearly every offer comes with a wall of requirements that filter out most would-be applicants. The first hurdle is employment. Only remote workers with full-time jobs based outside the destination state or city are eligible. Applicants must provide contracts or letters from employers proving both income and remote status. Some programs make it explicit. A minimum salary is required just to apply, often $50,000 to $80,000. Others do not print a number, but the results speak for themselves. In Indiana, the average household income among successful applicants lands between $97,000 and $138,000. In Alabama's Shoals region, the minimum is set at $52,000. These thresholds are designed to attract high-earning professionals, not just anyone looking for a change of scenery. Residency rules are just as strict. To unlock the full payout, newcomers must commit to living in the community for at least a year, sometimes two. Payments are rarely delivered all at once. Instead, grants are split into installments, an initial sum for moving, another after 6 months, and the rest after the full term. If a participant leaves early, loses their remote job, or fails to meet the program's ongoing requirements, future payments stop. In some cases, the contract requires repayment of funds already received. These so-called clawback clauses turn the offer into a binding agreement. Stay put, keep your remote job, and follow the rules, or risk losing the cash. The headlines promise easy money, but the reality is a selective, contract-driven process favoring a narrow slice of the workforce. Retention has become the headline metric for relocation incentives. According to Make My Move, which helps design and run many of these programs, about 90% of participants stay in their new communities after the first year. Roughly 70% remain after 3 years, based on internal tracking with Indiana University Public Policy Institute. This figure has quickly become a talking point for the industry, offering a measure of stability for towns betting on newcomers. But it is not just about people sticking around. Program operators point to local economic impact as proof these incentives work. In one Indiana city, a $15,000 grant package attracted over 100 households with an average income of $138,000. Make My Move estimates that those new residents generated more than $10 million in annual local economic activity. Across its portfolio, the company argues that incentive dollars can return several times their cost in local spending and taxes. As one aggregator spokesperson puts it, these are not just handouts, they are investments that pay off for the whole community. Yet these numbers come from internal models, not independent audits, and the full story is still unfolding. Not everyone sees relocation incentives as a cure for struggling towns. Policy analysts point out that these programs often direct public money to a narrow group of newcomers, while leaving long-term residents with the same old problems. In many of these communities, broadband gaps, aging water systems, and underfunded schools remain untouched. The funds used for cash incentives could, critics argue, strengthen local classrooms, expand high-speed internet, or repair roads, investments that benefit everyone, not just those who qualify for a relocation bonus. There are also questions about who actually benefits. Most programs favor remote workers with high salaries and advanced degrees, a group that is disproportionately white and already advantaged. In places like Tulsa and West Virginia, local advocates worry that attracting outside professionals could drive up rents and make it harder for working-class families or renters of color to stay in their neighborhoods. The opportunity cost is real. Every dollar spent courting outsiders is a dollar not spent on local needs. As one Brookings economist notes, paying people to move in may offer a quick boost, but it rarely addresses the deeper roots of decline, like weak infrastructure, limited health care, or persistent inequality. By 2030, more than 20 states are expected to roll out their own relocation incentives, each vying for a shrinking pool of remote professionals. The competition is already pushing places to sweeten their offers with larger cash grants, targeted perks for AI and tech workers, and even bundled packages for families. As more states join the race, the advantage of being first fades, and the pressure to outbid rivals grows. Some economic development officials warn of an arms race, where escalating payouts threaten to outpace the tax revenue or economic activity newcomers generate. If budgets tighten or a recession hits, These programs could see sudden cuts or abrupt closures, leaving applicants stranded or local plans unfinished. The risk is not just financial. When incentives become the main tool for growth, towns may neglect deeper investments in schools, broadband, or healthcare, betting on quick wins while long-term needs go unmet. The future of these programs hangs on whether states can balance short-term attraction with lasting community strength, or whether the next bust is already taking shape beneath the surface. Every incentive signals a deeper shift. Mobility is now a currency, and states compete for human capital like never before. As remote work reshapes the map, the true value is not just in the cash, it is in who stays and who gets left behind. What would it take for you to move?